How's it going, y'all? I'm back with another one. Today is a little bit of a longer one. Just wanted to... heard this sound on TikTok. It was like showing the character, a younger version of himself, where it's just addressing the current day, where it's just like, so you're me. Yeah, now I'm you. I'll play the video at the end, but essentially you get the point of where I'm coming from. And there was one character in particular I had in mind for this. It was one of my OCs I haven't drawn in a while. And if you see his old sheet, I didn't change too much, at least with his 19-year-old self. Just made him a little bit beefier to keep him in line with his sister, because he's Apollo. And Artemis, the one my design for her, she's solid, so I figured I'd have them match in a way. When I think about Apollo and all I know about him in my research, to me, he feels more like an air nomad, airbender from Avatar, but with just Fire Nation tendencies and capabilities. And of all the Greek gods within the pantheon, he has some tragic stories and outcomes that's happened to him. But most of the time he just wanted to get by, enjoy his music, what have you, as opposed to Artemis, who's more content with the hunt and the ones that follow her. But if you've been here long enough, you know when I do these inversions, these character studies of pre-existing mythologies, I like to flip them on their head. And as you can see here, the jump from 19 to 22 and so on, something had to happen. And in the narrative I'm writing, it's more so consequences for reaching for something that you shouldn't have coveted in the first place. Like, yeah, he wanted godhood. He wanted his father's approval, Hera's love, in the absence of his own mother, but at the cost of his relationship with his sister, Artemis specifically, and his ability to sing. You can see his jaw is basically gone, replaced with this mechanical monstrosity, and all you can do is just, by this time, imitate what he once was for the sake of godhood, his status. I like to think that it rests with him at the end of the day. Like, did he make the right choice? He tries to convince himself that he did, but he knows it, and we, the audience, knows that he shouldn't have did what he did, but it's too late to change it, and all he can do is essentially abide by the system that's set in place. I personally don't consider him a victim in this story, considering he did this to himself, granted with a little bit of help and deception, but if anything, he's more so a victim of circumstance. Sometimes he wonders, he ponders that had the Olympians not discovered them, that if his father, Zeus, the emperor if you will, if he just forgotten about them, maybe he'd still have his mother. Maybe him and Artemis would lead normal lives, and just, he wouldn't be this. He'd still be in the woods, playing with his lyre. And he's known as many things: God of music, foresight, prophecy. But the one I chose to stick to with this was music and light. Two things that him now is finding hard to do or bring into his life. It's kind of ironic, but it makes me laugh whenever I think about it. He probably wouldn't find it funny, but he's not real. It's just pixels on my iPad, and I just get to do whatever I want. I would say one of my inspirations behind this design, obviously, like Star Wars in general. I'm not talking about like Anakin from when he became Darth Vader, but more so like Knights of the Old Republic, Darth Malgus, I think. Like you'll see that inspiration behind a lot of my designs. Like even when I was drawing his 9-year-old self, it's more so in line with Padawan robes. If you look, you don't even have to look that close. You can just see the parallels to it. Like, it's nothing hard to tell, considering I grew up a Star Wars kid. Despite not having that much fan art of it, but I will make some soon. I've been watching the new Maul show so far. I haven't been disappointed yet, but every time the episode ends, I'm like, that's it. Because it's just like, you know how they do when it just leaves you on, I wouldn't say a cliffhanger, because sometimes some of the episodes not really a cliffhanger, more so alluding to what could happen next, and it just leaves you wanting more. And again, it's small. We know how it ends, we know how it begins, but everything in between, that's just easy pickings. That's just my recommendation if you're looking for something new to watch. I do want to do more of these character studies redesigns in the future, because I have some that are a little outdated. I do have plans to introduce them or reintroduce them to the story at hand while I'm still writing and drafting for the coming chapters. This one, the chapter I'm currently on, it's more so self-contained, like 4 characters total, and the majority of that is just Hathor and Celeste, with Cedric coming in towards the tail end of that. But that's really all I have. I was debating when I was doing this, like, how far should I take this render? Should I even render it? Because at first it was just mainly for the TikTok, and I wasn't planning on going too in depth. But then the more I kept going, the more I'm like, I can work with this. And once I finish this, I'm like, I gotta flesh out his design some more. Like, this is cool, but I don't want it to be just a one-off and I take years to utilize them again and forget entirely what was going on. So yeah, that's how we ended up here. I recorded this part first in the character sheet, design sheet, right after, but that's neither here nor there. It's just how I placed it in the Final Cut. And I was playing Hades 2 recently, and in fact, it's just so jarring to me how different he is compared to the Apollo in there. But we all take them our own liberties when we make these characters and pull them from reference. But that's it for now. Peace.
So, you're me.
Yeah, I'm you.